This is News Channel 7 News at 11 with Brenda Dainhart, Frank O'Brien, Gino Startori with sports, and John Dominic with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. And now, News Channel 7 News at 11.
Thousands of fans converge on the city of Wheeling today for a close-up look at world-class cyclists.
The 1995 K-Mart Classic is underway in the Mountain State. Good evening, everyone. I'm Frank O'Brien.
And I'm Brenda Dainhart. Thanks for joining us. Our top story on the night beat, the Wheeling leg of the K-Mart Classic has a repeat winner.
And now let's go live to the Veterans Memorial Amphitheater, where Gino Startori has post-race update. Gino.
Okay, thanks, guys. I guess you could call it the calm after the storm. One stage down of the K-Mart Classic, the 1995 edition, that is. 5 stages to go, and joining me live here at the Wheeling Amphitheater is ESPN racing analyst Mr. John Eustace. And John, you were a former racer, so you know all about this cycling stuff. A lot of our viewers watching us across the Ohio Valley, quite the amateur when it comes to this. Let's try to put things in layman's terms. First of all, it was a great day for a race. It had to be a great day. You were judging the race and going through, commenting on the race through ESPN, which we'll see that broadcast later sometime next month. Your thoughts on the race? Thumbs up or thumbs down after stage one?
2 thumbs up. It was a beautiful race, beautiful day. Doesn't matter if you know any sport. If it's a beautiful day like this, it must be a good time. You had 120 world-class athletes here. The former world champion, Lance Armstrong from Texas, the Motorola team, came in 3rd place. Frankie Andreu, last year's winner, won again. Perfect day for the race fans.
We're taking a look at the video right now on our screen. You mentioned Lance Armstrong. It has to be a shot in the arm for this 95 K-Mart Classic to have him back. He said originally he would not come here. He made it. He finished 3rd today. It's great to have the former American champion here in Wheeling today.
He absolutely loves to be in West Virginia. He does so well here. And another thing about West Virginia and Lance Armstrong is that the race is so hard that he always leaves it with super condition. It carries him through the season. He won a world championship after winning the K-Mart Classic. He has a good time here.
Also, someone that has to love the city of Wheeling is this guy, Frankie Andreu, the defending champion, and he wins it again here. We might have to check up with Frankie. He might get a new address here in Wheeling, West Virginia. Another win for Frankie Andreu, and another win for Team Motorola.
It's a dominant team in American cycling. It's almost a $6 million budget. Tremendous athletes they've been developing for years. Frankie Andreu was the only American finisher in the Tour de France last year. He's a top-class athlete, and it's great that he comes and puts out such an effort here in Wheeling.
If we could take a look at the final official standings, the top 3 racers from today, as we said, Frankie Andreu on top, his final time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, 16 seconds. That placed him 2 seconds ahead of Canadian from Team Saturn. That's Brian Walton, 2 seconds back from Frankie Andreu. If you recall, Frankie's time, a winning time a year ago, at the time that was a 48-mile stage a year ago. His time last year, 1 hour, 52 minutes, 9 seconds. Lance Armstrong, there you see it. Lance Armstrong won the Tour du Pont last month, actually early in the month, down in the southern states. He was also finished 2nd this past weekend in Pittsburgh at the Thrift Job Classic, and today he takes 3rd. So Lance Armstrong still doing quite well. He didn't win today, didn't win last year, but he had a pretty good finish here today.
He rode very well, and it's a 6-day race. There's a lot of racing to go. He's sitting in 3rd place, only a couple seconds behind. It's based on overall time. What your overall time is at the end of the 6 days, the lowest overall time is the winner. Frankie's got the best time right now, but Lance is right there. You never know what will happen until we finish in Martinsburg.
You know, us guys in the media would like to see Lance Armstrong always finish first because he's the name, the marquee player on this tour. Well, let's first talk about the course itself. It changed from a year ago. You're telling me the course this year a lot tougher than last year.
Yeah, it was harder. You went up Northern Parkway. It was almost twice the climb as last time, and there was right up here, the very narrow bike path, the Wheeling bike path, and you had 130 or 120 bike riders funnel down into this bike path. And what they would do, if you saw them, they'd spread out all over the road and sprint to the entrance of the bike path, rubbing shoulders and fighting like that's the way it is.
So it's aggressive. It's not just a sissy sport or anything like that. These guys are well-conditioned athletes, and they're competitive.
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult, very dangerous, very tough sport.
We mentioned that Frankie Andreu was your winner. He was also the winner a year ago. He captured the first stage of the Wheeling K-Mart Classic Stage 1 here today. Tonight, a repeat effort. And earlier tonight, after the win, our Scott Noty caught up with the winning racer, Frankie Andreu of Team Motorola.
2 wins here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy. It's great to win here. It's a hard course, and I just happened to be on the right wheel when Brian went. I mean, Brian was super strong today, and I was able to stay with him. And I just took advantage of a situation, was able to win again for the 2nd year here. So I'm happy.
He's happy. Team Motorola's happy. Stage number 2 of the Wheeling Classic will begin tomorrow right here at downtown Wheeling. They'll shoot the gun off at 2:30. The 16 teams will head to 106 miles, and I know it's a rough, windy road, Route 250 going through Cameron, West Virginia, what have you. They'll head down to Clarksburg, West Virginia. John Eustace, what can we expect tomorrow, stage number 2?
Another brutal day. If you know Route 250, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. It goes on
I've
forever.
been on it before. It's windy.
It's terrific. Very hard race. I think you'll see the Team Motorola controlling the pace, but a lot of the Italians or the Belgians or some of the other teams that are right in the money but not quite winning, making a big attempt to take the lead in Clarksburg.
And if we can, we could show you the itinerary for the 6 stages. We already have the stage 1 in the hopper, Wheeling, West Virginia. That was concluded today. The tour will go to Clarksburg tomorrow, as we said, 106-mile road race. On Thursday, they'll head to Charleston, and kind of an easy day for the folks there, 7-mile time trial. They'll head to Beckley on Friday, 110-mile road race that is. Lewisburg to Elkins coming up on Saturday. That's a 131-mile road race. And then everything's all over on Sunday. After over 500 miles, the K-Mart Classic will come to an end. 6 stages will be all finalized by Sunday, and the early line right now is Team Motorola should be the winner.
On paper they should be, and from today's results it seems like they should be as well. But there are a lot of good teams in this race. And last year the winner was almost defined by this stage. This year is still a lot in question. A lot of racing ahead of us.
John Eustace, the racing commentator from ESPN. Thanks for stopping by, partner, and thanks for the lesson on cycling. John Eustace live with us here at the Wheeling Amphitheater. Coming up in our sports segment a little later in the show, about 15 minutes away, we'll tell you how the Pirates and the Marlins fared tonight from Three River Stadium. Also, we'll have a complete report on the K-Mart Classic. Scott Nolte on hand. He'll have his complete post-race update from the K-Mart Classic. Also, the NHL and NBA All-Star playoff games. It's a huge night in the Ohio Valley and also nationally across the sports world. Back to you guys in the studio. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Now, the Ohio Valley's most complete coverage, News Channel 7 Sports.
And welcome back to the Wheeling Amphitheater, everyone. Gino Startari reporting live. Now, earlier today, the Ohio Valley was blessed with a chance to catch a glimpse at some world-class bike racing. Stage number 1 of the K-Mart Classic is now history. The cyclists, as we speak, are resting up for tomorrow's stage number 2, 106 miles to Clarksburg, West Virginia. Now, earlier this evening, it was Wheeling's turn to play host to one of the top bike racing classics in the country. My partner Scott Nolte was on hand tonight and has this post-race report.
The course may have changed for Stage 1 of the 1995 K-Mart Classic, but the winning face stays the same, as Motorola's Frankie Andreo once again captures the Wheeling stage.
Strategy is for Motorola to win this bike race, and we were able to get off the front near the end, and I was with Brian Walton from Saturn, and we just kept racing as hard as we could.
And the strategy definitely paid off for Team Motorola. Saturn's Brian Walton had taken over the lead on lap number 5, but Andreo was right on his tail. Walton still led after 6 laps of the course, but as the 2 leaders headed off for the final lap, it was apparent this would be a dogfight to the finish.
We were away the last 2.5 laps together, and he sat on about the last lap and a half. And Noel came up and told him, Frankie attacked me just 1 kilometer to go and just had that little bit of a gap at the finish line. So I guess they were a little nervous with me with the time trial coming up in a couple days, but Frankie's been time trialing well and Lance isn't too far back, so it's going to be tough for me to take over the lead, but I'm going to try.
Brian Walton of Team Saturn may have initiated the final move against Andreo, but Frankie was able to attack and pull ahead.
Oh, I took off on the second hill, the last hill, 2 kilometers from the back. I gave an attack there to get a gap.
Even with the second place finish today, Walton is only 2 seconds off the lead going into tomorrow's point-to-point race from Wheeling to Clarksburg, putting him and his team in a great position to battle for the lead.
It does set us in a very good stage. I've got 3-4 strong guys right behind me that were in the group, and we're not done racing yet. I've got stronger guys behind me, and I know we're going to try for the top spot on the podium.
So Stage 1 of the 1995 K-Mart Classic is now history, with Frankie Andreu of Team Motorola pulling out a very tough, close win over Team Saturn's Brian Walton. Tomorrow, Stage 2, also right here from downtown Wheeling. Race time set to begin at 2:30. Covering the 1995 K-Mart Classic, I'm Scott Nolte, News Channel 7 Sports.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Nice report. Here are your official standings after stage one. There's your champion, Frankie Andreu of Team Motorola. Winning time, 2:08.16. 2 seconds back, Brian Walton, the Canadian from Team Saturn. There you see the former American champion, Lance Armstrong. He won the Tour DuPont, second place in Pittsburgh, the Thrift Drug Classic. And today he finishes third. Length of the race, 53 miles. The average speed, just under 25 miles an hour. Now, as we said, the race will start back at 2:30 tomorrow. Stage number 2, Wheeling to Clarksburg, 106 miles. Then on Thursday, Charleston, the time trial, 7-mile time trial. They'll have a kind of a breather in Charleston before heading to Beckley on Friday, a 110-mile road race. Saturday, Lewisburg to Elkins, 131 miles. And then they'll complete the 500-mile 6-stage tour in Martinsburg, a road race, 107 miles. Wow.